Martin, tell me a little bit more about Jamaica by Bike. What is the function really of Jamaica by Bike?
Well, actually, the Jamaica by Bike came about just really to put on this Negril ride. We have spoken about doing other events during the year, which haven't come to pass as yet. But it's just a small group of guys trying to raise some money for charities at the moment.
And it's a group that's been sanctioned by the Jamaica Cycling Federation.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. And you don't bring in bike facilitate those who want to purchase bikes by getting them in for them, or how does someone?
No, we do.
Yeah.
No, we don't do anything like that. There are several bike shops in Jamaica that could help in that scenario.
What's your own feeling on? It's something I spoke to, I think the last president of the Cycling Federation about. Cycling, people who use, just for racing and or like this charity, or even just for exercise, about the actual duties placed on purchasing cycles. There's a general feeling that it should be reduced, or in some quarters should be non-existent. What's your own thought on the whole aspect?
Well, my feeling is it really should be non-existent. Mm-hmm. But the odd thing is, if you bring a complete bicycle in, there are duties. But if you bring in the parts that are duty free, so you can do the math, right?
Yeah. Judith, I know you're heavy on marketing, communications, branding. What can you expect along the way in terms of branding and visibility as far as ATL Automotive is concerned?
Well, certainly our Volkswagen Amarok are going to come out designated as such. You'll see the Amarok logos on the side, and at each of the rest stops, which we hope to have a presence. So it'll be easy for the cyclist coming into a stop to identify it. So you will see our branding machinery out there. We also will be making use of our facilities in Montego Bay for lunch. So that will be an area where we will significantly show our models, and our branding will be there.
So you're going to be having an exhibition of most of the vehicles, ATL vehicles, at the end of the ride or at the start of the... Well, at the start, obviously, you'll see them because it's going to be at your head office. But in Negril, you're going to be having them there as well?
Well, lunch will be the biggest display of vehicles. At the end of the ride, when we're getting into the UDC park, there will not be a lot of space to show a lot of vehicles. Certainly the Amarok, and we will be having the Volkswagen 2012 Tiguan model along on the trip as well. We'll set those out in display arrangement once we get into the park.
Okay. And I have to ask Martin this now. When they complete the ride, Kingston to Negril, they're riding back to Kingston after?
No. Some riders will remain in Negril for the balance of the weekend.
Yeah.
And for others, they will have arranged their own transport. And we are also arranging transport back for at most 40 riders.
And some of them, I suspect, will put the bikes in Judith's Amarok and get them back to Kingston. So
there you go.
And they're spending the weekend based on the ride. Have a difficulty traveling again after that long ride. That's what you're telling me. And they're trained for it.
I'll tell you this, Foss. They're planning to do what they call a short sprint back down to Lucy or maybe beyond the next morning. So I think there's definitely a passion for this sport.
I could make that trip easy by driving, but certainly not riding.
Well, Maurice, I think you've already committed to ride next year because you plan on having Judy on the ride next year.
Yeah, but I will take a little wager. Judy can never finish a ride from Kingston to Negril. If she does it, I will do it. I promise you that.
Please. I don't think you should challenge me. I think there's going to be a showdown next year, and you better start preparing for that race, that run.
I definitely would. But I think the general excitement of the riders, and I think one must congratulate those who participate, because obviously knowing it's a charity ride, and they're not benefiting, I think we must all congratulate them and just participating.
Absolutely.
They all deserve congratulations.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Judy.
I just want to say it's an amazing effort, just not from the organizers and through to the participants. So really kudos to everyone. Of course, there is that inner feeling of accomplishment at the end as well, not just personally for having made the trip, but also for what you've contributed to.
Just want to tell our listeners that you can stay tuned. Of course, KLAS will be giving an update of what's going to be happening on that charity ride, and it's a worthwhile cause. And one must only thank Martin Van Kong of Jamaica by Bike, and of course Judith Denton, Marketing and Communications Manager for ATL, the lady who's been doing tremendous work for the group. And the lady with the voice, I call her. Judith and Martin, thanks a lot. All right.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. For ATL. Morning, Judith.
Good morning, Fox. How are you?
Not as good as you. And I gather the first question to ask is, you sell all these fabulous vehicles, the Audis and the VWs and the Range Rovers and all these fancy vehicles, but you don't sell bikes. So how is ATL involved in this charter ride, Kingston to Negril?
Okay, Foss. Well, of course, we have our group of companies has a long-standing reputation for becoming involved with various charity efforts, and certainly this one is admirable. The Jamaica by Bike trip has been going on for a number of years. There's lots of consistency there, and they have had extremely worthwhile charity. So we'd like to continue that trend and ensure that the success of that. And of course, we have a strong, powerful vehicle that's going to be acting in a support capacity. The Amarok is going to make that trip, and actually a very nice symbolic vehicle because there's a lot of strength, endurance, and power required of these cyclists to make that trip from Kingston to Negril, and the Amarok is a perfect fit.
Martin, entries. What sort of entry you expect?
We expect about 100 cyclists. We hope that in the coming years, with the help from ATL, to increase the numbers significantly. So maybe next year we'll probably look at between 200 and 300. And
there are no winners really. It's all for charity. Or will
it's all for charity. It's not a race. If you need to get from Kingston to Negril in a race, this is not for you.
Juliet, how do you raise funds this kind of charter ride from Kingston to Negril?
Well, actually, what will happen is